Silence and solitude, a time of communing with God. If I am being honest, I really struggled in writing this week's discipline. It feels very close to home, as if I'm right in the midst of it, and in learning more about it, the Lord has gently convicted my heart. So, this week, I am going to share a little bit of my journey with you. Over the last week, the Lord has shown me why I have struggled so hard for so long to hear His voice, why I feel as though I could not find rest in Him, why I experienced such a roller coaster of highs and lows, why I struggle to be content in Him. I feel as though silence might just be the hardest discipline for most people. It requires a slowing down, a coming before the Father as is with all you have. It requires a removal from the noise of life we are so familiar and so comfortable with. It requires a risk of spending that time you don't think you have, or of getting vulnerable. And for many of us, we are unwilling. Why is it so hard to be still and know that He is God? I believe it is so hard because we set ourselves up for failure from the moment we wake up. I believe it is so hard because I set myself up for failure from the moment that I wake up, by packing every moment of my day so full. The culture we live in worships busy. Busy is a state you will find most people living in. And I know I, for one, live in this state. A state of constant running, of doing this or that, of being here and there, of never slowing down enough to let myself settle. Why? Because when we settle, we can clearly see what the state of our heart is. And that scares us. I love the visual of our hearts being like a jar of pond water. When it's shaken up, sure, it's pretty gross, but it's near impossible to make out all the different components making it the color that it is. It all just blurs together and looks cloudy. But when you let that jar sit for a while, the water settles. You are able to clearly see all the things that make the water the way it is. As I sat down to begin one of my many attempts of writing this, I decided that I needed another word for busy. So I took to good old thesaurus.com and typed the word busy into my search bar. The Lord met me right there in that Google tab and simply said, "This is why." The first word, the closest synonym to the word busy, is unavailable. When I make myself so busy, I actually make myself unavailable, not only to others, but unavailable to God as well. When I choose that constant state of running, I am choosing to run towards that busy and away from the Father, ignoring that He is all I need in every way. This week, as we practice silence and solitude, I encourage you to take a good look at your schedule, at the way that you spend your time. The odds are what you see will reflect your availability to Jesus. I encourage you to make space, not only specific moments of intentional silence and solitude with Jesus, but space throughout your day. Moments of silence where Jesus can meet you. Moments in the middle of the noise where you can be still and know that He is God.